with your hosts, Andrew Romanella.
I don't think I'm good enough in this spot based on my own personal mental health, so I can't continue. I legitimately watched the entire women's triathlon the other day. I gotta tell you, that was exhilarating stuff. But I was locked in because what's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Rome Show here on 12ouncesports.com. Broadcast live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. I am your host, Andrew Romanella. I got you for the next 30 minutes and change. If you want to get in on any of the action, hit us up on social media, The Rome Show 1 on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, all of the good stuff. We're working on sharing the show right now, so when you go to all those places, you can see the show. It was a nice weekend for me individually, but I think a super sad weekend for our country as a whole. We are not a political show here on the Rome Show, but I'm going to start off my Rome today with a simple message that I think can be heard by every single person, and I think is super important. It's just simply this: we need to be better. Bottom line, we in this country just need to be better. There's nothing else that can be said. It was very hard preparing for the radio show last night and then waking up this morning and getting ready for it again and finding purpose in what I'm about to talk about today. When in actuality, and other people have said this before, I'm just going to go ahead and borrow their words for a second. Sports is the candy store. It's the I want to go buy a new toy store. And so to sit up here every day for 30 minutes and just talk sports kind of makes you feel like you're blind to what's really going on. So I just wanted to start today by saying we need to be better. Everywhere, across the board, better. From what happened with our presidential candidate over the weekend to what was going on down in Florida for the Copa America Championship in South Beach. Some of the things I heard over the weekend and saw, it just makes me feel almost gross about just living sometimes. And it's very sad to see. So I hope that first, the people in these 50 states on this American soil can start to look around and maybe take from sports for a second the good side of sports, the inclusive side of sports, the side of sports where great things happen, the side of sports where people come together and create positive memories, good learning experiences. It's just very sad. So we're going to take a quick commercial break here, and we are going to get back to the sports. But it would have behooved me to start this show on a Monday after what has gone on over the weekend and pretend like everything is okay, because it's not. And it starts with us, the people. And I don't know how many people listen to this show, and I almost don't even care, because if one person finds positive in this message, then I'm a happy camper. But we, literally the humans. And what I'm starting to realize is, unfortunately, it might not just be in this country. It literally might just be this world. But on the simplest of form, all of us just need to be better. And I got a story for you from over the weekend about travel baseball as to where this thing whole started for me. Plus, we do have to talk about the first half of Major League Baseball, how it ended. We're going into the All-Star break and a few other things. We'll be back on the Rome Show here after this on 12 Ounce Sports.
Twelve Ounce Sports has a new home for betting. BetUS.com is the official place to place your bets and support 12 Ounce Sports. All you have to do is go to betus.com and type in the promo code 120Z and you'll instantly get a deposit bonus. This is America's favorite sports book. And remember, always gamble responsibly.
Yeah, it's the Rome Show here, 12ouncesports.com, broadcast live, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Oh, that was almost a terrible way to say that word. The Rome Show shop.com is the website for the show. You see the sponsors. Support 12-ounce sports any way you can and help out the network. Here's the deal, okay? Over the weekend, Spain won the Euros 2-1 over England, okay? That was hold on. That was the fourth European championship that Spain has won all time. That is the most all time, passing Germany at 3. That is the third Euros championship in the last 5 years for the Spaniards. And en route to that championship this year, Spain beat Italy, Germany, France, and England. So very impressive showing from España. The World Cup will take place in 2026. So almost exactly 2 years from today. And I got to tell you, I'm sure if you're Spain, who has been playing some elite level soccer, they didn't lose a game in the Euros. Did not lose a game out of 7 opportunities in the Euros. Only team to do so. Spain playing some very good soccer, I'm sure, chomping at the bit for the World Cup to come around, something that we've been talking about the United States of America has not been doing recently. Let's continue. So here's what we were talking about before at Copa America, okay? So these tournaments are very interesting because you have to remember that these are countries playing each other. So in a scenario where the United States isn't in this tournament anymore, they're still hosting the semis and the finals. So last week we got on here and talked about an incident at Bank of America Stadium in North Carolina. Now we have an incident at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. Argentina defeated Colombia in the Copa America finals yesterday 1-0. But that's not the story. The story is the fact that kickoff for the game got delayed almost an hour and a half because fans were trying to rush into the stadium before the stadium opened. Some of the pictures I saw on Instagram of what Hard Rock Stadium looks like right now is actually atrocious and embarrassing. There are videos all over the internet of fans trying to break in, climb in to this stadium. Kind of how I started off the show, but it's the truth. What are we doing? Now, this is not an issue from an American fan standpoint. These are two international countries that happen to be playing their battle on our soil. But I'm going to go back to a point I've made, every single time I've said this. This is sports, people. This is soccer. Like, you're talking about people getting arrested, the game getting delayed an hour and a half, there being mobs and piles of people trying to break through the gates. For what reason? I heard a great statement when I was in Las Vegas waiting for my Cirque du Soleil play. And by the way, if you didn't hear that show, it's a good one. The Rome Show podcast, wherever you get your podcast, just search it. So we're waiting in line for Cirque du Soleil, but we have a ticket in our hand, and that ticket has a seat and a row. So you've been assigned a seat and a row, okay? So some guy walks up right past Jules and I, and he goes, why am I going to stand in this line and wait when I've been assigned a seat? And I sat there for a second, and I was like, oh my God, this guy is so right. This is one of the best things I've ever heard. Why, in any point in time in my life, would I stand in a line to wait for a seat that I have been assigned? Now, I know, I get it. There are certain times, right, when it's like, all right, I'm going to the Giants game after the tailgate. It's 12:30. You're probably going to stand in line for a moment. You got to go through security. Okay, I get those scenarios. But you got people in Miami rushing the entrances, rushing the gates, trying to break through the vents for a soccer game. But on top of that, okay, and now who knows? Maybe every single person I'm talking about here didn't have a ticket, which is also asinine. Like, that's so sad. It's just so sad. That's what your life comes to. You care so much about watching a soccer game live that you're breaking into a professional stadium. That's wild to me. So it just blows my mind that you go to flip on the TV and watch a game, or you go to get ready for your radio show, or you just simply are scrolling through a sports media website or app. And it's a new story every day about fan interaction or player interaction with media, or this type of fight or that type of argument, or, as sad as this may sound, people have died before. People have died at sporting events. For what reason? Because that guy likes that team and that guy likes that team. It's just embarrassing. It's very embarrassing. And it is actually really starting to frustrate me, because I feel like every time I turn on this microphone, there is a story in the sports world about some type of psychotic fanness. Some fight, fans saying something disrespectful courtside to a basketball player, soccer players going into the stands because they feel like their families are in jeopardy. We're talking about sports. I don't care how much certain countries love the game of soccer. Never, ever should stadiums be destroyed, people be getting in fights, there be people arrested, and players coming into the stands because they feel like their family is in jeopardy of safety. That should never happen because of a soccer game. That should never happen because of a sporting event. So if you're one of these psychotic people out here that does not understand how to handle themselves in the form of being a fan live at a stadium or event, you must stay home and stop leaving your house, especially to come watch sporting events. And I can't imagine there are people out there that don't agree with me. Last point I'll say, I go to games now sometimes with an uncomfortable feeling. Like, what am I going to run into today? Well, there's a real thought you have to have now about being a fan in an opposing team stadium. That's embarrassing. I'm sorry, that's embarrassing. You want to have fun fodder? I'm a Dolphins fan. That guy's a Jets fan. Oh, yeah. Oh, boo, the Finns stink. Oh, the Jets are terrible. That's a New York Jets. 4th down, right? Like, you want to have a little bit of fun, banter? Yeah. That's great. That's great. You should want to not like this team because they're an in-division rival. That's competition. That's good. But the fact that people not even coming close to having an income or impact, I should say, on the outcome, I should say, that people that have no impact on that are actually the storyline because they're so fanatical about their sports team. It's scary. It's scary. It's a bad place to be because it feels to me like it continues to happen more and more and more. And we're only getting more access to these players. So I can understand athletes being on edge sometimes or it being tough for them to keep their mouth shut when fans think that just because they buy a ticket to this event, they can now say or do whatever they would like. And unfortunately, that is not the case. And man, is it embarrassing to watch. I hope this show is not embarrassing to watch. And if you like it so much that you want to share it with somebody, we told you we broadcast live every day on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, but we also have the podcast, The Rome Show podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts. Before we get to this commercial break, I remind you to be electric at theromeshowshop.com. If you want to enhance your day and make every day electric, go be electric at romeshowshop.com. That's romeshowshop.com. Promo code ROME at checkout. When we get back from this commercial break, we're going to talk final Major League Baseball standings, okay? And then, by the way, we're going to finish up our first half of Daily Picks. That's right. We are taking an all-star break, but we'll talk to you about that. You just stay with us. The Rome Show here, 12ouncesports.com.
Need tickets to that next event? Well, at 12 Ounce Sports, we've got them with soccer anywhere in the world. Tickets to any venue, any sport. Want to go to NCAA or NFL football matches? We've got them.
Yeah.
Baseball at every level. Every Power 5 matchup is available. Don't forget, costumes and paint are optional. What's that? You want to go to Broadway? We have those too. Want to jam out? Every concert, every artist. That's right, at 12 Ounce Sports, we've got the tickets for less. 12ozsports.com/tickets. That's 12ouncesports.com/tickets.
Welcome back to the Rome Show here, 12ouncesports.com. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, live. Over the weekend, Centenary University Baseball hosted a tournament. So we rented out the field to an organization from PA, and they hosted a tournament. Well, I had to interact with a coach, and it was one of the worst interactions I've ever had with a travel baseball coach in my entire life. One of the most embarrassing experiences I have ever experienced. And it was mind-blowing to me that people actually acted and operated this way. So we're going to get to baseball, but I just wanted to give you a little bit of a teaser on Tuesday morning. I got a great story for the people. And what I found out today, well, kind of last night, but kind of this morning. That's why I'm going to give you till tomorrow. So get a little bit more backstory. It's a story where it starts out what and turns into nice because finally accountability was at the forefront. And today's been an interesting day when it comes to us talking about just kind of everything going on, whether it's fanship or politics, etc. It's all sad, in my opinion, from that standpoint. But this one turned out kind of good. So I want to save that for Tuesday because I'm fired up about it. And I got some coaching buddies that were with me over the weekend that were excited for me to go on that rant. But I guess you'll just have to wait till July 16th and tune into the Rome Show tomorrow morning, 7 a.m., 12-ounce sports. We continue. So, first half of Major League Baseball season is ending, okay? Last night, you had the final day before the All-Star break. Tonight, you are fully off with all of the teams. And then on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. on Fox, you have the Major League Baseball All-Star Game. Now, Major League Baseball's All-Star Game, I think, is usually a pretty good one. For the most part, more people are interested in the Home Run Derby tomorrow night, which we will talk about after story time. You know the deal. Usually more interested in the Home Run Derby than the All-Star Game. And I've been talking a lot about this All-Star thing, and I just think it's kind of ridiculous that we hand out awards 90 games into a 162-game season. I just don't see how that gives me the true definition of All-Stars. But Paul Skeens' story is awesome. And there are some other really cool stories in there. I just think it's actually ridiculous that there are 70-some games left in this season, and that is where you should be determining the All-Star. But either way, I digress. At the end of the first half, the Baltimore Orioles lead the American League East by 1 game over the New York Yankees. They played a series over the weekend, split the last 2. Baltimore winning on Sunday. The Yankees are 58-40. The Orioles are 58-38. So it's essentially 2 games back in the loss column, even in the win column. The Boston Red Sox are having a way better season than everyone thought. I think Alex Cora is going to be up for manager of the year. If people remember, brought them to a World Series, then got fired because he was an assistant coach, a part of the Houston Astros scandal, and then, or suspended for a year, I should say, and then came back. So redemption time for Alex Cora and the Sox. In the Central, the Guardians lead. They have a 4.5 on the Twins. I have an interesting stat for you in a second here about the Guardians, so keep that in the back of your minds. Not many competitors in that division, I think, for the division. The Twins are 4.5 out. It could happen. The Royals are 7 over 500. I think the Twins and the Royals are fighting for an AL wild card there. And then the Mariners are 1 game up in the West. This is probably the worst division in the AL. The Mariners are 6 over 500. The Astros have been crawling their way out of the cellar the last 35 to 40 games. They are now 1 out of the West. The Rangers, the defending World Series champions, are 4 under 500 and 5 back. The rest of that division we shouldn't even worry about. In the National League, the Phillies have a commanding lead in the East, 8.5 over the Braves. The Braves are 11 over 500, but yet the Phillies are just that good. Braves are struggling on the road with a 24-25 record. That is a huge factor in why they are not as close to the Phillies in the top spot. The Mets, you never believe it, finished 3 games over 500 in the first half of the season, competing for a wild card spot there. Nationals and Marlins are out. The Brewers are leading the Central. Fun part about this is Craig Counsell left managing the Brewers to go to the Cubs. The Brewers are leading the division. The Cubs are terrible, 47-51 in the last spot of that division. Not a great division. 4.5 up, the Brewers are on the Cardinals. I think the Brewers will run away, and I don't think anyone else will play in the playoffs out of this division unless something crazy happens. The Dodgers lead the West by 7, 56-41. I feel like the Dodgers have fallen into a spot of being like the Golden State Warriors for the last 10 years up until last NBA season for their dynasty. Or any NBA team that doesn't necessarily care about the regular season. It's almost like, yeah, we know we're going to make the playoffs. We probably even know we're going to win our division because the other teams aren't that good. So let's just get through this thing type deal. But they haven't had many World Series, but one to show for it. So I don't know. Well, we'll see if the Dodgers can do it in the postseason, but they are leading the West. To finish it in the wild card, right now, The Yankees and the Twins lead the wild card in the AL. The Yankees have a 3.5 game lead on the Twins, who have a half game lead on the Red Sox, who are in the third wild card spot with a 2 game lead on the Royals. The Braves lead it in the Natty League, with the Cardinals 4 behind them. The Mets a half game behind the Cardinals in the third spot, and the Diamondbacks 1 behind the Mets, as well as the Padres 1 game back. A big battle in the wild cards on both sides. So an exciting second half of Major League Baseball coming up. I can't wait. I posed this question to you, and we talk about it more tomorrow. So, tomorrow we got a great show. We got story time with Andrew. We got a little bit more Major League Baseball, and we got to get ready for the Home Run Derby, okay? So I pose you this question: why are Major League Baseball teams so bad? Some of them. Why? And what can be changed? Because the White Sox have 27 wins. The A's have 37 wins. The Rockies have 34, and the Marlins have 33. Now, I've come on the show before and said every team's going to win 60 and lose 60. It's what you do with the other 42 that matters. I think that'll probably reign true for almost every team but the White Sox and maybe the Marlins. But how do you have 4 teams that are just historically bad? How do you have the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, with one of the best players in this generation, consistently 20 games under 500? How do you have some teams that are just so bad? Well, we did a little research over the weekend and trying to figure out this answer, and we will address that tomorrow on the Rome Show. The bottom line is we are going to break it down from all different angles. Psychotic travel coaches, all the way down to why Major League Baseball teams are bad, and maybe even a little Tuesday edition of Hockey with Rocky to give you some off-season updates. Plus, you probably didn't even realize this, but the MLB draft happened last night. And so that's how I wanted to finish the show. So much stupid stuff has happened over the last few days that it's almost easy to forget about all the good stuff. It's almost easy to forget about all the fun stuff because the stupidity of what you hear on the news, of what you hear from what sports fans are doing at games. It's just very sad. So let's just be better. Humans, let's just be better. There's no other way to put it. I hope I was all right for the people today. Your daily pick segment will return on Thursday, July, I'm going to try and do this quick in my head, 18th. We are on a all-star break of ourselves as well. Might do a special all-star pick for the Major League All-Star Game and the Home Run Derby. We'll think about that and talk to you about it tomorrow. But just needed to take a moment along with the sports leagues to reset, get the legs right, get the mind right, and we'll come back out picking our bananas come second half of WNBA, second half of Major League Baseball, and what looks to be, and we don't talk a lot about football when it's not football season on this show. Like, we reference it, we'll talk stories, whatever. But we're real close to football training camp. And I know that excites the people. So the Rome Show is about to get good here the next 2 weeks. You better stay with us. And it's okay if you're not here live. Rome Show Podcast, wherever you get your podcast. Plus, RomeShowShop.com. Get your official Rome Show gear. It's awesome. Head to 12ouncesports.com. You can check out their gear. They're doing a 20% offer right now. And then obviously support us with any of the sponsors because that's huge for the station and huge for the show. Andrew Romanella here on the Rome Show. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. to talk about all those things we told you we talk about. And until then, saying peace.
Thank you for listening.
Need tickets to that next event? Well, at 12 Ounce Sports, we've got them with soccer anywhere in the world. Tickets to any venue, any sport. Want to go to NCAA or NFL football matches? We've got them.
Yeah.
Baseball at every level. Every Power 5 matchup is available. Don't forget, costumes and paint are optional. What's that? You want to go to Broadway? We have those too. Want to jam out? Every concert, every artist. That's right, at 12 Ounce Sports, we've got the tickets for less. 12ozsports.com/tickets. That's 12 Ounce Sports.
Ounce Sports has a new home for betting. BetUS.com is the official place to place your bets and support 12 Ounce Sports. All you have to do is go to BetUS.com and type in the promo code 120OZ and you'll instantly get a deposit bonus. This is America's favorite sportsbook. And remember, always gamble responsibly.
Wow.